In this guide, we're to have a look at how to record a customer deposit in Xero. Then we'll have a look at how to allocate that deposit against the sales invoice that we create in Xero. And then finally, we'll have a quick look at the theory behind recording customer deposits. Let's get started. Let's take a look at how we record a deposit that we receive from a customer for which we haven't raised a sales invoice yet because we haven't supplied the service yet. So in order to record a customer deposit, we want to go to the bank reconciliation screen. I'm using a demo account here in Xero, and we'll move down and we'll find the example deposit, this item here. So we click on Add Details, making sure that the tab is on Create here. And this opens up a new box. Now the important point here is to make sure that we change this drop down here, Received As, and we go into it and we make sure that we select Prepayment. The date should be auto-filled and the customer should be as well, although you may want to choose a different customer because this is taken from the bank description line itself. We leave everything else as it is. Now for account, and this is important, we select income in advance. We don't want that income hitting the sales nominal yet. Now whether or not you select a tax rate here for VAT will depend on the nature of the deposit itself. Now if you go to the government guidance, for which I'll provide a link in the full blog article on our website, you'll be able to work out whether you actually put VAT on the transaction at this point when you receive the deposit or whether it's later. And then we click Save Transaction and Reconcile. Now what we've just done is recorded a customer deposit. We've allocated it to a liability code which is called income in advance. It's not hitting the profit and loss account yet, it's not been recorded as sales yet, and it's sitting there ready for us to allocate against a future sales invoice that we raise and send to the customer when we carry out the service or we provide the products. We've already recorded the customer deposit in the previous video. Now what we're going to do is save the new customer invoice to Xero. We'll create that, and which you could then obviously send out to the customer, and then we're going to allocate the deposit we've already recorded in Xero against the new sales invoice. So you can see here we've got the same customer. We're raising a new customer invoice for the supply and fit of a new imaginary bathroom, which has a total cost of £5,000, which includes VAT for this particular customer. And we're ready to approve that and perhaps send it out to the customer. So we'll click Approve. And when we do that, up pops a window saying Allocate Outstanding Credit. So Xero has detected that we've got a credit, that deposit that we posted in the last video, on account of £2,000, which includes the VAT as well. And it's asking us, do we want to allocate it against this invoice? And okay, well, normally we would click yes and we'd click allocate and we would do that. However, I'm just going to skip it here just to show you that if you did click skip there, then you can also credit the invoice with the deposit by clicking on this link here. So it's stating that we've got £2,000 in outstanding credit. We can click credit this invoice, and we can allocate the £2,000 against this invoice, leaving £3,000 left to pay by the customer. We'll click Allocate Credit. So that's now attached that previous deposit of £2,000 against the £5,000 invoice that we just raised, showing that there's still £3,000 left for the customer to pay. And in the background, what Xero has done is it's moved that £2,000 deposit from the income in advance code and the VAT element of it as well. It's moved it and allocated it against the invoice, so it's reduced the trade debtors amount by £2,000 instead. Now, in the profit and loss account, when we saved the invoice, the full £4,166.67 will hit the profit figure, so it will increase profit by increasing sales first, and then the VAT figure will also be accounted for correctly in the VAT control account for your next VAT return. So what we've essentially done is moved it from the deposit from the liability code on the balance sheet to the sales code in the profit and loss account by allocating it against the invoice.
Head over to xenonconnect.com now to find out how our cloud software can improve the quality of your bookkeeping and reduce the amount of time it takes to get it done. Thanks for watching, and remember to hit the subscribe button.